Do these buildings look out of place? Yes, of course, because they're part of a liminal urban space. And I love making the rhyme space with place.
What is a liminal urban space?
Good question. There are many fancy definitions about liminal spaces, but we'll take our simple approach to it. Liminal space is a place that is designed with certain purpose or function, but at the moment you see it, the expected activity does not occur. That's why they feel weird and creepy. Most often these places you can find them in closed interior spaces, but they can also appear in bigger urban domains, like this one over here. For example, this sidewalk has been designed specifically for walking and pedestrians, but now all we see is plenty of parked trucks and no pedestrians. That's a simple explanation of liminal urban space. You're watching Stripping Architecture, and today we'll be stripping some architecture in order to explore liminal urban spaces. Or for example, here we have a big bicycle lane and a street, but it's empty, nothing happening. Right now we are between two cities. One big city, Brussels, and one smaller city, Vilvoorde. And it's normal, between these cities, different economies has been developed and it's part of certain kind of industrial zone. That's why we see all these trucks being parked over here. But when you see only the trailer of the truck, it kinda gives you attention that it's being parked here for a while. It's not just a temporary occurrence. Along this long and narrow sidewalk, we have this kind of doors. When you see a door, you want to open it. And usually you need to know the destination of that door. Well, here we have a mysterious door without handle. Yes, of course, it's a part of this industrial building for certain kind of exits, but the pedestrian on the public space doesn't get that information, and that's a liminal urban space. Maybe it goes to Narnia. Then the amount of these concrete blocks being scattered around with those old train tracks that you can see them here passing through there gives us feeling that something was happening over here, but right now we don't see that function and gives you creepy feeling. And then here we have this traffic light being protected by 4 poles from all the sides from eventual car accident or impact. The protection from eventual impact is just reflection that this space has not been designed, but it's being left on its own like a monster in a cave. And then you can see right over here we see different type of pavings, a little bit of cobblestone and asphalt, and then all these sporadical things, telling us that something's about to be happening here, because this place is full of potential, but still the key element is missing: nature, people, animals, biodiversity. In the cities, these kind of wasted spaces can appear only as an error, but in liminal urban spaces, they appear as a design element. What is also interesting, these urban phenomena can generate different type of worlds. For example, this suspended highway is specifically designed for elevated transport of vehicles. But on the ground level, over here what we end up seeing is big and giant columns. Now, can you imagine how these columns appear in the forests where the animals live? Just imagine a little tiny deer running, chasing each other with a rabbit, and bang! They see a big concrete megastructure. A column in the forest is a perfect image of a liminal space, now in the nature. Now, the moment you see this in a space that's empty, you start thinking, how the hell happened that a vehicle has crashed into a building? Now, these kind of structures that were built and made from someone right now they're empty and waiting for their future potential. This green buffer zone is an explicit sign of liminal urban space. The major purpose is protection and barrier between the private and the public domain. But right now, the private domain is just some factory being protected from this empty public space. Or when an abandoned trailer looks like a monster or dinosaur. And as you can see, in this continuity of trees and soil, we have this patch of abandoned hard surface, which maybe we should mark it as a liminal urban space. This concept of drive-through is very weird. It actually looks like a mini golf course. Usually the drive-through should be around the main building, and this one loops around a little patch of grass. But still shows you the liminality about how space can be designed with certain purpose, and in the end, it turns out it's wasted and weird.
What is this weird object?
I have no idea.
It was designed for a very specific function, but the moment you start to dig around, you will discover several potential. Used for container, drinking, putting flowers, playing with the soil, etc., etc.
Well, same it is with liminal urban spaces. When you see them, it feels weird, but if you start digging around them, you'll discover different possibilities and potentials.
Now you know how to detect liminal urban spaces, and please don't feel weird when you see these weird spaces. On the contrary, try to dig around and really discover what's going on. You will really have huge different point of view. Don't forget to share, watch, like this liminal video.